12 o'clock and call to order the meeting of the City Planning Commission. It's Thursday, February 21st, and we have a quorum with everybody present today. Would anyone who is going to say anything please stand up? And do you swear and affirm that what you are about to say will be the truth?
Yes, I do.
We have one case on the agenda today. It's case 0803, zoning request for annexation on Della Drive. This has come from City Council and it's for Beaumont Green. Steve, do you want to say anything to explain it to us?
Yes, I provided you with a copy of the authorizing ordinance. Actually, it's called the development agreement between City Council and, or actually the City of Athens and the developer, Beaumont Green LLC. The ordinance is 0507. It's dated in the past March 5th, 2007. If you look at, turn to what would be page 3, under City Responsibilities, Section E, it says, "It is the city's intent to annex the property with an R3 zoning designation." So when I saw that this was on the agenda, I wanted to pull up a copy of that, just so you knew what that development agreement had said. And I generated an Exhibit 2 that you can forward on to the City Council if you'd like. If you do recommend R3, I can change it, if you want to make it something different. But it shows the properties and the zoning districts in that area. Beaumont Green's right next to the Highway Patrol, which was the last piece of property that was annexed in that area recently. It's Zone B3. And then, of course, across the street, you can see all the area that's being annexed that exists in the city in the addition or extension of the Holzer Clinic area and the zoning out in that area.
Okay.
One other thing, just doesn't really have anything to do with this, but it does have to do with this map that I'd like to point out. There's been a lot of discussion about open space zoning, and if you look on the south side of East State Street, you see that large open space area? That follows exactly the new floodway boundary line. So now, when we do have opportunity, we try to make spaces that would otherwise, because of flood hazard, not be developable, that those be zoned open space.
And that has been zoned open space already?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
I believe the annexation is still going through, but this is the proposal right now for the extension of those zoning districts.
Okay. So that we can discuss this, would somebody like to make a motion of the zoning request?
I move that we designate this Beaumont Green area to be annexed in as R3.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, now we can discuss it. Any questions for Steve?
Well, I had a general comment that can be maybe forwarded to the City Council. I know that in the past, Athens Conservancy had actually discussed the possibility of having trail access across the back of this property, because one of the long-term loop trails that's been planned long-term by the city and by Athens Trails. So I would like the city to maybe explore that as a trail easement or access, have it brought up, as just a discussion point by council with the developers as part of this. I think that I think it was several years ago before the project actually went through that people had approached them and they seemed fairly amenable. So I think that would be a good opportunity to work with somebody in doing, private individual and the city working together. So I'd just like to put that forward for the council to mull over.
Steve? I noticed that this would be the eastmost, the next property over is outside the city limits.
That's correct.
Okay.
And if you note there too, there is a small piece of property
in the front part of it?
Yeah, that's not in the city. There's a large garage there and a residential home, but that's not in the city.
Question, in terms of, I'm looking at that parcel that's really State Route 50 there. That's still outside the city. It's technically owned by, the ODOT, I assume? It loops and, 50, the bridge going across.
I'm really not sure.
Okay.
Andy Stone, the Director of Streets, might know that.
I'm just-
And even if it is in or out of the city, there's, we kind of have overlapping jurisdictions. I know now for plowing snow, we have agreements on who'll do what, when. But as far as I know right now, that is not in the city. As those areas were being annexed out that way, the descriptions with the annexation petitions only describe the property and not the street right away.
I guess that's the question I was asking, because I'm looking and saying, okay, if, we're getting this little divot in here that's, state property, but not in the city. And I was just wondering when it, they'll never probably petition at that point, and probably if we don't want to take care of the road there, we wouldn't annex, because there's no need to do that. I was just wondering if there's a policy that you know of one way or the other.
No, this has been something that has been discussed for quite a period of time. There are a lot of other places in town like this. For example, not everything from Columbus Road all the way to Route 33 is in the city. There was a recent annexation up there for a fairly large tract of land. I want to say it was, might have been up to 30 acres. It wasn't even in the city, but it was between Columbus Road and Route 33.
Yeah, that Door Lane property. Huh?
Exactly. And you have some places like Athens Paint and Decorating and the car wash out there that aren't in the city. So, if you look at a map of the city, there are these little holes everywhere.
Right now, that facility, that apartment complex is occupied now?
I don't think it is. They've applied for rental permits for us to go out, for the code office to go out and do inspections. However, I don't believe that they're occupied yet.
Okay.
I drive by there at night and I never see any lights on. So, but it sure looks like it's ready to occupy.
Thank you.
Harry, got any questions? Oh? Okay. Are we ready to vote on this motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, passes unanimously. We'll recommend zoning of R3 then to council. Now, do we have any new communications